Tonight, I have a Kentucky dust-up for you. A classic clash of the titans between two iconic American brands. I'm gonna throw them in the octagon. They're gonna go head to head. Two will enter, only one will leave. It's gonna get ugly. Okay, I don't know why I walked off like that. I'm Bob, you are in the United States of Analog. Thank you for being here. This is gonna be a little different today. I've got two products here I'm gonna put head to head. They're at exactly the same price point. But you know what? I'm gonna put away the teleprompter, put away the scripts, the laptops, everything, and just work off notes like we used to in the old days, because I have two tabletop speakers here that are priced at retail $349 each. And both of these came across my IG feed in the same day pretty much. And you know what? I dipped into my own pocket and paid for these two units because I thought it would be a great way to pit two iconic American brands against each other head to head. Right here, Klipsch and JBL. Both powerful names, powerful sound. We're going to see how they do against each other in these tabletop format speakers. Now, I'm not in the market for a tabletop speaker right now. Hell, I've got 8 Sonos Ones in a closet over there in the hallway that I'm not even using right now. I'm not a big fan. I'm lucky enough to have systems in most of the major rooms that I have in the house, much to the chagrin of my wife. But we're going to put these two against each other anyway. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, so stay with me. First up in the red corner, weighing in at 8.5 pounds, the Klipsch One Mark II Bruce McLaren edition. It has 2 1/4-inch full-range speakers, 1 4.5-inch woofer, and 2 side passive radiators. Frequency response 56 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Let's take a look at it here, because this is kind of unique in the audio world. This has no plastic whatsoever. It's all metal. I don't know. I think this may be a piece of wood on top. If not, it's wood veneer. But there is no, outside of the rubber feet, it has no plastic on it. A beautiful metal grill on the sides that wraps all the way around 360. I believe this is a wood panel here, and it's silk screened with the McLaren nomenclature here. Listen to this click. A nice on-off switch. Also clicky knobs to select between auxiliary and Bluetooth. A little depression there on the top knob will put the Bluetooth in discovery mode, and then volume here. The only thing I don't like about the volume is that you really don't have any idea. It'll just keep spinning until your speaker blows out or distorts. So there's no end to it. You can just keep turning it. On the back, we've got USB to, I guess, update the unit. Auxiliary in, mini, the input for the power cord. And now in the blue corner, the JBL Authentics 200, the lightweight in the JBL Authentics line of tabletop speakers. It weighs in at 6.9 pounds and is rated at 90 watts. It has 2 25mm tweeters, a 5-inch woofer, and a downfiring 6-inch passive radiator. It has tone controls. It has Bluetooth. It streams. It has a vegan leather wrapping. And maybe the best feature of all, that front grille, the nod to the JBL classic L100 speaker. So clearly there's a lot more to unpack here with the JBL. It has a lot more going on, at least apparently, than the Klipsch Model 1. And we haven't even got to the back yet, which has Ethernet, has auxiliary in, USB in, and of course the power slot there. So unlike the Klipsch, the JBL does have some plastic parts, some faux finishes, but overall it's a very nice looking unit with some metal up top here, and as I mentioned, this nod to the past with the grill. It's rather nice in a completely different look. Both of these units are retro in their own respect. Now, one of the big distinguishing features between the JBL and the Klipsch, JBL has a JBL One app, which has a lot of functionality, including a 3-band equalizer. That's not too much different than the treble and bass controls up here. You're not going to get, but you can do it remotely. The way the volume knob and the bass and treble knob light up from underneath with lit rings kind of is reminiscent of, in a smaller way, the name Unity Atom. All right, that's where the comparisons are going to stop here with the name Unity Atom. But there are these lit rings that are pretty cool. Again, like the Klipsch, not really precise, right? There's no end to the amount of turning you can do here on the volume knob and the tone controls. So be careful there. If you're used to precise tuning, precise volume, you're not going to get it here. There's a Bluetooth button here, and you can also like some of the music with this button here. All right, a couple more things to mention about the Authentics 200 from JBL. This does not have a on-off switch. I don't know why. And also JBL claims that the 200 does a certain amount of sound tuning on its own based on the environment or whatever. I didn't dig too far into it. I'm not even sure the particulars are available, but we'll assume that it does what they say it does. App with the JBL, which is great. No app, no tone controls with the Klipsch, though this one is tuned by the Klipsch engineers. Now I've got to slow down a little bit and get my thoughts straight to talk about the sound, because one of the major differences in these two units is that the passive radiators on the Klipsch are on the side, and the JBL has a down-firing, larger passive radiator. And it's going to play into the sound a little bit, because I felt like, and even though both manufacturers claim these are stereo speakers, because I guess because a different signal goes to the different small drivers, you don't get a stereo effect at all right? Let's be honest here. You are not going to get blown away by the width of the sound. With the JBL, the sound pretty much comes from, from here to here. No mistaking. Sounds a little wider with the Klipsch because of those passive radiators. Again, what I think, and I don't even know, I'm not a sound engineer, but maybe both of these manufacturers could have used some kind of DSP or faked us out somehow. I'm not even sure if it's possible. When these stereo speakers are pretty much separated the same distance as basically the ears on your head. Anyway, that was one of my takeaways on the sound, is that it's very directional, it's very straight ahead, a little wider with the Klipsch. I thought the Klipsch sound was a little clearer, but I couldn't really get as loud with the Klipsch as I could get with the JBL. The JBL booms, okay? It shakes. You can see it visibly vibrating on its little rubber feet, and you can get it to vibrate even more by applying some bass and applying some tone. But the JBL seems to punch a little harder, while the Klipsch is just a little clearer. As far as how I connected these speakers to sources, I used Bluetooth with the Klipsch because that's pretty much all that's available, and I did hardwire and Bluetooth at different times. My Soundburger, I thought, this little turntable thing from Audio-Technica, yeah, it's not high res, it's not audiophile per se, but you know what? It's kind of price appropriate. Set up a little system, right? So I hardwired it. I used Bluetooth. I used the app to dial in my title to stream in high res. It's got Chromecast, Apple AirPlay, and both of these units have a certain amount of that Alexa voice control stuff that I just didn't dive into. I just wanted to hear the music. It's here. You've got it. I said this was a head-to-head battle, so I'm going to grade these things in 4 categories: value, looks, functionality, and sound. Let's talk about value. They're both retailing at $349. And full disclosure, I got the Klipsch at about 40% off during one of their sales on their website. So this is discounted. No discounts on this. The Authentics 200's too new, maybe around Christmas time, who knows. So while I got this for a lot less, I think there's still more value in the JBL because of the streaming, because of the app, because of the tone controls, because of the nod to the L100 speakers. Looks wise, I got to put the check here with JBL. Somehow they've managed to incorporate modern with vintage. Functionality, guess who's going to win? JBL. Again, the app, the tone controls, it just has a lot more functionality for $349. And finally, the sound. Man, this is where it got close. Again, no sound stage, almost a sound stage. Very directional speakers. I think the Klipsch wins overall in the sound department because of its clarity. And I like both brands a lot. It's a close one. It's a toss-up. You may disagree. It depends on what kind of music that you're going to be playing with these. These are both rock and roll brands, right? Klipsch, JBL, rock and roll speakers all the way. This is a little more rock and roll. This is a little more country. No, it's not country, but you know what I mean. It's a little more laid back in its sound. You know, it gets to its clipping a little sooner than the JBL, but this one rocks. All right, but I'm going to give the sound award to the Klipsch. It's very confusing, I know, and you may be confused right now, but I just think it's, at a moderate level, you're going to dig the sound here. Even though there's no tone controls, they did a good job tuning it. All right, so the clear winner here is the JBL, even though the Klipsch is discounted at times. I don't know if either of these speakers is worth $349 though, and maybe it's because I'm not in the market for one. But I guess for a dorm room, a kitchen, a bedroom, a bathroom, this is pretty cool stuff. I wouldn't take it past the porch outside. It's definitely not a pool speaker. There are no batteries in these models. I think the 300 model from JBL has a handle with a rechargeable battery. This model doesn't. So, there's limited applications for something like this. I don't know, $199? I'm comfortable with. All right, it got a little confusing at the end. What can I say? They're tight competitors. JBL though, gonna take this one. I'll see you next time in the United States of analog. I'm walking away again. Why? I don't know why I walked away there.